With Apple releasing the brand new MacBook Pros at a significantly higher price point than the previous generation, the big question on everyone's mind is whether or not the new machines are worth it. I own the mid-2015 version of the MacBook Pro 13-inch and would argue for $200 less than the entry-level MacBook Pro 2016, you're getting quite a bit more. The most obvious and arguably important feature this last-gen MacBook has over its replacement is the inclusion of normal ports. With this MacBook, you won't have to carry around a dongle to plug in your SD cards or hook up to a TV. All the ports you need are right in the machine. The laptop is quite small and portable, and is a solid compromise between portability and power. Personally, I'm confused why Apple felt a need to make their MacBook Pros even smaller, when I was under the impression that's why the 12-inch MacBook exists. At the end of the day, this Mac offers a portable, high-quality design, which still gives you all the professional ports you need. The new MacBook Pro loses the glowing Apple logo, so you'll need to pick up this one if that's important to you. The new MacBook Pro offers a brighter screen with a wider color gamut, but that doesn't mean that this MacBook has a bad screen by any means. In fact, this panel is still a far better performer than many other laptops in its price range, providing punchy colors, incredible viewing angles, and a very respectable amount of brightness. I imagine most people will be more than happy with this screen, especially if you're able to pick it up for a great deal this Black Friday. Performance in this computer is respectable, and while it doesn't feature a dedicated graphics card or quad-core processor, it's still more than adequate for most types of work. The computer ran very smoothly when editing and rendering 1080p footage in Premiere Pro, and I imagine would even be able to handle 4K editing if you used Apple's Final Cut Pro. But personally, I don't like Final Cut, and consider it an inferior editor to Adobe Premiere. As a video editor, I don't see a huge appeal in using Apple computers, because despite the fast render times you might be getting using Final Cut, I personally think the superior interface and workflow of Adobe Premiere still offers a better overall experience. However, if your main focus is photo editing on the go, I think this laptop will serve you quite well, and because of its superb battery life, could very well last you a full day of work. The same could be said for a traveling voice talent looking to record in a small package. Its keyboard is tactile and contains a solid amount of key travel. I enjoyed my experiences typing with it, and would definitely consider it better than the soft, mushy-feeling keys found on the latest generation. As a Windows user, I'm not in love with OS X, and personally don't really like the way everything is set up. And if you're a gamer, you know OS X is pretty much the last operating system you want to use. But I understand that it works for many people, and it's a well-designed, fluid OS, and I doubt you'll have any complaints with it if you're planning to pick this one up. The webcam was more or less atrocious, but I assume most people won't mind it for something like FaceTime. It's a pretty quiet machine most of the time, but the one time I fired up CSGO, the machine was incredibly loud, and became somewhat warm to the touch. If you're committed to macOS, and enjoy using programs like Logic and Final Cut, and aren't quite impressed with the new line of MacBooks, then pick this one up. I know you won't be disappointed. I can imagine these computers going on some pretty cool sales this Black Friday and Cyber Monday, so there has never been a better time to buy one. So tell me what you think. Are the new MacBook Pros any good? Or has Apple finally abandoned the professional market it once dominated, to instead focus on creating prosumer status symbols, forcing the user to work within the confines of their ecosystem? You've probably figured out what I think by now, and if you like technology, filmmaking, and audio equipment, then check out the rest of Erickson Films. Until next time, Christian from Erickson Films, signing off.